Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Thursday morning? I hope you guys are all doing well. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. I hate the fact that I still don't have the countdown working, guys. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to do it. I've had so much work to do, guys. It is on my to-do list, but I don't know when I'm going to get it fixed, so I do apologise for it. It's very annoying because obviously I don't get to play the music unless they do it at the end. So, yeah, it sucks a bit biased. But hello, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning with Reganelite. For the hour, we're going to be looking at today's daily quota. We're going to be looking at local weather for today and the next couple of days, and then we're looking at UK news specifically, guys. I'm going to mix it up today, going a bit random all over the place. Like I usually go by a certain list, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit for you guys here today. Just want to say hello to those there's quite a lot of you in the chat. Person impersonator, Scott, Billy Kershaw, Von Eric, Billy Scott, Indy Duck, Rosemary, Peter, Stephen Banker, Christina, and any other new faces. Martin, good to see you there. Christina already said hello to, and I think that's all. And Scott Hayes has just popped up there at the bottom there. Good to see you all. Hope you guys are all doing well. Right, let's jump straight into it, guys. First and foremost, today's daily quota is an anonymous one. We don't know who said this one, but there it is, guys. So you always know that I don't make them up myself. It's from the daily quota. And by the way, if you want one for yourself, www.littlepennythoughts.com if you guys are interested in one of your own. You can actually find joke ones as well. There's like ones you can get like of a joke of the day. So every morning you could wake up and find yourself read a joke, which could be funny and could not be funny as well. So here is today's daily quota. Live a life that feels good from the inside, not one that just looks good from the outside. Live a life that feels good from the inside, not one that just looks good from the outside. I screwed that up second time, didn't I? It's a nice one. I like that one. Very good one. Friday's one's a very good one to go into the weekend as well. We'll see. We'll check out that one tomorrow, guys. There. You can just call me Mutty, dude. Everyone else does. Love and sausages. Mutty. Yeah, I'll try to pronounce it properly. Anyways, good. It's good to see you there and everybody else. Right, let's go straight into it, guys. Let's not waste any time. We've got an hour. We want to make the most of the hour. Right, so this is today. This is using the BBC weather app, just for referencing. People want to know what I'm using. Here, let me turn on the wind. Do we need to see pressure? Well, there's the pressure if you need to see it. But I don't personally feel the need to see that. But this is currently today. If I go back to, this is today, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock is what they're predicting forecast, and then 10 o'clock at night. I normally go to 7 o'clock today, but we can see their temperatures. Pretty much most of Europe is pretty low. Madrid 20, Vienna 13, Zagreb 16, Paris 11, Berlin 13, Prague 10, Warsaw 10, Oslo 10 there, and Reykjavik up in Iceland at 10. And we got London, Manchester at 15, 15 respectively there. Belfast, Dublin 13 and 12. Cardiff and Edinburgh 14, 13 respectively there. I did say pretty much throughout the week, you can put your washing out on the line. There's a very high chance that it's not going to get soaked, guys. So if you want to put washing out instead of hanging it inside, you go right ahead. I think it's not until Saturday or even parts of Friday, there may be some spits of rain. But pretty much, you might get a bit of high winds. It's going to be cloudy. It's I looked outside. I haven't been for my walk yet, but it's going to be cloudy out there anyway. But yeah, temperatures, nothing that we don't already know about, guys, which we've spoken about for a couple of days there. But you can see temperatures 14, 15, some as low as 10 and 11 there. Probably worth wearing a jumper if you can't handle the temperatures. But nothing really to add that we haven't already added with regards to the weather for today, I think is fair to say. So let's come out and let's have a look at the next day, guys. I don't think there's really any more to add to today's weather that we already know. So Friday early morning into the morning, late morning into the afternoon. There we can see again no chance of any forecast of rain. Just some really dark clouds is probably what you get. Maybe some wind in some parts of the UK, But again, temperatures aren't going to be too bothersome. Again, 15, 16 in some parts, 15, 16 again in Belfast and Dublin. Nothing really to add. Okay, there are some possible spots of showers perhaps in Scotland that you might encounter. There, but that's about it. But mainly just wind and cool dry conditions is pretty much for most parts of the UK. Pretty much there is what we're going to get tomorrow. So I don't think there's anything more to add to that apart from probably need a jumper and maybe a bit of wind here and there. But that's about it, guys, for Friday. Right, so let's have a look at Saturday. So Saturday overnight. I think we mentioned this rain was going to be coming in here, but has it changed since then? So early Saturday morning into Saturday morning, pretty much throughout the whole day, you're going to be getting rain coming over onto Wales and parts of most of Scotland, and a bit of parts of North England. There's going to be hit with that forecast of rain there. So yeah, you are going to be experiencing quite a bit of showers overnight on Saturday, late Saturday afternoon, lunchtime as well. So if you are planning to go out and whatnot on Saturday night, for those up in Scotland, probably take a raincoat with you. So just a fair warning there for you guys. But temperatures, nothing too different there. 15 maximum temperature in London, Manchester 14, Edinburgh 12, Belfast, Dublin 12, 13, Cardiff 14 respectfully there. So nothing really that we haven't seen already. But if we scroll into Sunday, we can just see there that overnight that rain is still going to be there. It will start breaking up into Sunday morning. There are parts of England where there will be some rain as well, possibly as well in some parts there, but nothing that we can't handle too much. But yeah, throughout pretty much Sunday, parts of it will be rain, but again, temperatures aren't going to be too bad. London 17, Cardiff 16, Manchester 15, Dublin, Belfast 14, Edinburgh 14 there respectfully. Nothing that we don't already can't really too much handle there, so it's not going to be too bad there. We'll just have a quick look at Monday. We'll cover Monday pretty much more thoroughly there, but we can see Monday overnight. Are we going to get any rain there? Looks like probably not overnight, but you can see it's going to be quite cold in the morning, 7-8 degrees in some parts of the UK there. So I probably want to be careful there, but you can see again, not really any rain looks like it's going to be forecast on Monday as well. So pretty much most of the next couple of days is going to be dry, cloudy, with the exception of Saturday and perhaps parts of Sunday. There's going to be showers, especially those coming up in Scotland. There is what we'll be getting, guys. So just keep an eye out for that is the message I have for you guys there. Alison Keir, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for being a member for 21 months. Really appreciate it. So let's have a look. I want to start with the times here, guys. So mix it up a little bit. I won't be able to open any articles here, but we'll have a look anyway. So here is the front of it. Andy Burnham attacks Diversity Starmer days before the Labour conference. The Greater Manchester Mayor appears to accuse the Prime Minister of having no plan before a potential pitch to replace him. So Andy Burnham, I personally said Andy Burnham should not say anything, but at the end of the day, it's kind of his choice. I don't see a way. I said this before, and I'll say this for those who are here. I don't see a way for Andy Burnham getting into any kind of power within this Labour government, considering the control that McSweeney has, considering how Rupert Murdoch controls a lot of the political landscape as well, and the media landscape, because he has a huge amount of influence. I don't know how he's supposed to get in. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I appreciate the fact that he wants to step up to the plate, because he will be a hell of a lot better than Keir Starmer. But I don't see how he can make that path. That's the thing, the problem that I have with all of this. Alison Keir, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships there. He's given 5 to Leacorn, Q, Singay Mercat, Rossio, and Political X. I didn't know Political X was a subscriber to my channel. But yeah, do check out Political X's content. He does great stuff on his channel. Really insightful, as well as he's obviously one half of the Sunday Roast as well. He does great. That's a great show as well. I do recommend subscribing to the Sunday Roast as well there. And thank you for the £2 super chat, just to get the super chat goal started as well. Very generous of you today, my friend. Thank you. And yeah, good to see all those familiar faces as well. So Afghan refugees been granted asylum in the UK, returned home from holiday. Bang & Up versus the Clock Watchers, apparently. Mental health benefit claims hit 250 a day in Labour's first year. Not good. Farage urged the Bank of England governor to cut interest rates there. And a family of 3 arrived from France from the first one in, one out of migrants. We touched on that a little bit yesterday on the Watch Along live stream last night. It's not going to change anything with regards to the people getting on boats crossing over, guys. It's really not going to make a difference. Starmer's website uses text from Morgan McSweeney's think tank speech. Police Federation told to reveal accounts over claim that a boss was paid 600,000 That's not good. That's very concerning. What was he paid 600,000 for exactly? Generally curious. Cabinet ministers to recommend lifting 2-child benefit cap. Giving deported criminals £2,000 doesn't look good, minister admits. Trump is racist, sexist, and Islamophobic, says Sadiq Khan. That's true. Royal Park debunks Nigel Farage's claim migrants are eating swans. Now, again, like I spoke about this briefly yesterday, and I did say I didn't show the video, but I did find that video again. I'm not going to show you guys the video, but I did send it to a journalist on Twitter, but they haven't responded to it. So, because someone did have a video footage of them claiming it came from Turning Point UK, which is obviously I don't trust them, but. The fact that the Royal Park are debunking this claim should say a lot about how realistic it is happening. Ex-Superintendent brands police shadowy over hate report against her. Home Office reviewing migrant taxis after hospital trip cost £600. Why did it cost £600? That's a question there. Labour's lawyers advise 700,000 of donations to be called admin error. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of donations went undeclared by Morgan McSweeney's think tank Labour Together. Alaston, thank you again for another 5 gifted memberships. That's very generous of you. One for all. Martin Harrow, Magmonk33, Ginger Lefty, and Matt Parker have all been gifted memberships there. Welcome to the new members, and thank you, Alaston Keir, for your generosity. I really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Very, very generous of you. Let's see what else is happening. Let's have a look at the top stories that they have here. Any other stories that we don't know? UK cod rationing means one fish subpoena for every 1,200 people a year, apparently. Kit Kat is cool for kids. It's been a while since I've had a Kit Kat, to be fair. Judge allows decisive evidence against ex-soldier in Bloody Sunday trial. We've looked at all of them there. I can't open up any of these articles, guys, because the Times want me to pay for them, which I'm not prepared to do. Scottish news from the Times, take with a pinch of salt. SNP attacks independence of state-owned bank after Israel ban claim. Student attacked at protest led down by Edinburgh campus security, apparently. More than 150 much-loved goats to be culled at Nature Reserve there. Most Scots thinks SNP is failing, but will vote for it anyway. Remember, this is from the Times. This is what they're saying. It's not what I'm saying there. Just for reference there to my friends in Scotland. Right, let's have a look at the Independent there and see what they're going to be saying there, guys. UK cod is overrated. Flatfish most moist and tender. You know, I'm not really I don't hate fish, but I'm not a big fan of fish. Like, normally I will prefer sausage and chips or burgers and chips on the seaside rather than fish and chips. Like, I'm not really a seafood kind of person. I've never been a fan of seafood. But I've had like fish before, but I'm not as big as fan, shall we say. Not a fan of seafood. Like, if you take me to a seafood restaurant, I'm going to struggle to pick something off the menu that I'm going to like. I'm just going to put that out there. That's just me personally. UK politics from the Independent here. What are they saying here? Boris Johnson brands reform extremely dangerous as he rules out a move. I sent that video clip from last night on the live stream to Max. I'm sure he's going to cover it. Cover that clip as well, because I talked quite in detail about that clip as well. Starmer under pressure to lift the 2-child benefit cap. Andy Burnham denies asking MPs if he should oust Starmy. Starmy. They put Starmy there. How long is an acceptable wait for a routine NHS appointment? Well, that's a good question. Labour promised 65%. Supporters say that even close to an 18-week benchmark would mark a significant achievement given the scale of the challenge. Critics argue that missed targets show patients are being let down, with many forced to wait months or even years for vital care. How long do you think it's acceptable to wait for a routine NHS appointment? You can have your yeah, so you can have your share. I was kind of hoping it would give us some numbers, but not very too much there. I'm covering that in a video. The Your Party. It's either coming out today or tomorrow. So could he return to the? Could the King of the North return to Westminster and have the top job? I just don't see it happening, guys. Like, I just don't see it happening. I just think there are, like, as much as I think he will be really, really good for Labour. Yes, he has his flaws. Yes, absolutely, no question about it. I just think, yeah, that the likes of Blue Labour and people on the right of that party will not allow it to happen. They've kicked out so many of the left within the Labour Party. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Hotel Council's launch event for Tommy Robinson's backed political party. What? He's got a political party? No, I'll have to look at this in a second. Britain needs wholesale change, Bourbon says in a challenge to Starmer. Farage falsely accuses Eastern Europeans of eating swans from parks. Yep, that's just bollocks. So what is this story here? It was canned on health and safety grounds following an online protest. So a new political party, Advance UK, has had its inaugural launch event cancelled by a council-owned hotel in Newcastle. The party is led by former Reform Deputy Ben Habib and backed by right-wing activist Tommy Robinson and billionaire Elon Musk. It was scheduled to hold a conference in the city on Saturday. While the venue was not initially disclosed, it was understood to be Crown Plaza Hotel in the city centre. Newcastle City Council confirmed hotel management cancelled the booking on the grounds of health and safety following an online protest. When Advance UK announced the event in August, it said he had chosen Newcastle because of the symbolic heart of Brexit. The party vowed to fight unpatriotically for sovereignty, free speech and restoring pride in our nation. Okay, sure. Local authority took over the hotel in March as it's run by a separate company. Newcastle City Council spokesperson said we are aware that hotel management taking the decision to cancel a forthcoming event on health and safety grounds. That's the High Hotel absolutely support their decision. It has in any situation, safety of all those above our city's absolute priority. Mr. Watson, Advance UK will actually drive change. Farage is a very weak sauce who will do nothing. Farage is just not going to get money from Elon Musk. He's just not going to get it, guys. Elon Musk does not want to give nothing to Nigel Farage, no matter how much sucking up Nigel is doing. He is not. He's putting his faith in a party backed by Tommy Robinson. This could hurt the right. This could potentially hurt the right it could potentially hurt the right. Like, I don't see right now. I don't see Advance UK getting any kind of ground like in politics, yeah, per se. But it could potentially hurt reform. Anything else here I need to add to this? Advance UK have been approached for comment. It's a very weird name as well, Advance UK. And the fact that it's backed by Elon Musk as well. Like, he's prepared to back a party that's not even properly started yet as well. Rather than, like, that's how keen he is to say, no, I don't want nothing to do with you, Nigel. Please go away. It says a lot about Nigel, doesn't it? UK could see fish and chip shortages as cod supply in grave danger. Yep, that's very concerning. Montenegro takes swipe at Trump as it opens a new UK factory. Massive explosion at a warehouse on Swindon's industrial estate. Oh God, I hope that gets. Hope nobody was killed. Man banned from every boot store after £100,000 shopping spree. I've seen this story quite a few times. A man's banned from every boot store after £100,000 shoplift spree. Liam Hutchinson has been banned from entering all UK boot stores for the next 10 years. So I suppose he's going to target Superdrug next then. Yeah, over £100,000 worth of boot products during a 3-month crime spree in stores across Kensington and Chelsea. He committed a total of 99 shoplifting offences between May and August 2025 before he was caught by Metropolitan Police. CCTV photos show him grabbing several items, including large quantities of electrical items, various placing them in bags and his jackets. On one occasion, a shop worker can see him attempting to stop him before he runs away. He's now been jailed for 12 months and has been handed a criminal behaviour banning order, banning him from every boot store across the UK for 10 years. He's also been banned from entering the borough of Chelsea and Kensington for the next 5 years. Yeah, I'm very happy this has happened, but I don't know how this story has blown up in comparison, because there are lots of other shoplifting that is taking place that you do not hear about. Like, I'm glad that he's faced the full wrath of the law, but he's just going to go and shoplift somewhere else unless he gets proper rehabilitation during his time in prison, which I don't think he will. Toxic chemicals warnings after 260,000 face libidus seized at the border. What the? Experts' test of seized fake goods has found banning chemicals linked to cancer and dangerous choking hazards. Oh my god, we're talking about children here. More than 3.5 million worth of counterfeit toys have been seized at the UK border this year, with 75% failing critical safety tests, authorities have revealed. Among the 259,000 fake toys intercepted, 90% of the 236,000 items were counterfeit Lullaby dolls, according to the Intellectual Property Office IPO. Although 92% of toy buyers, often parents and caregivers, are aware of counterfeit products being sold in the UK, a recent IPO poll indicates that they are more concerned about the cost savings than safety. The survey found 7 in 10 buyers prioritise costs, while just 27% cited safety as a key factor that influenced their purchasing decision. In response, the IPO launched its Fake Toys Real Harms campaign, collaborating with toy retailers, local councils and influencers to warn buyers that cheaper counterfeit toys could have devastating consequences for children's health and safety. I like that they're using influencers to warn about this as well. This is very good. There's very popular kids and influencers when it comes to toys that can mitigate people away from the dangers of counterfeit toys. Experts tested seas of face goods and found banned chemicals linked to cancer and dangerous choking hazards, including in toys marketed at toddlers and infants. The IBS Deputy Director of Enforcement, Helen Barman, said, "What you see is rarely what you get when it comes to counterfeit toys. Behind the packaging can be hidden choking hazards, toxic chemicals, and faulty parts that put children in real danger. These products have bypassed every safety check the law requires, which is why we're working with our partners to keep these dangerous fakes out of UK homes. Our Fake Toys Real Harms campaign aims to raise awareness among parents and present buyers of the hidden items associated with counterfeits. Children's safety must come first, so we urgently urge parents, please don't let your child be the tester." Yeah, that's very, very scary indeed. When a toy arrives, it should be checked for the UKCA or CE safety mark and a UK and EU contact address on the packaging. Those who do not spot a counterfeit should return it straight. Do spot a counterfeit item should return it straight away and leave a review to warn to other parents, as well as reporting it to the trading standards. That's a lot. 236,000. That's just seized. That's just what's been seized. We don't know how much others has been as well. That's very concerning indeed. What's that about the Glaser Flotilla there? Yeah, that was old. That's an old story there. Haven't heard anything there, guys. Praxio on Twitch, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Genie Bottle, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Martin Harris says we have a decent Egyptian exhibition in the Liverpool World Museum. Unknown mummies, pretty big exhibit. Liverpool is definitely somewhere me and my partner want to visit. So thank you for sharing that. So giving me a lot of food for thought, because me and my partner, we love going to museums. Person says, I went to Scotland as a kid. It drizzled consistently. There was very little daylight. I thought I was still in Wales. So he says there. Alston Keir, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. All hail the DPR. All hail the DPR. All hail the DPR indeed. Thursday means bouncing down the stairs, says Indie Duck. That could be quite a bump. Could be quite a bump there. Is there anything else really here from the Independent? No. Let's switch gears, guys, and go to another one. Let's have a look at The Guardian. Let's see what they are saying on their website today. We'll go from politics there, and then we'll look at others. Burnham claims he is completely committed to his Greater Manchester mayoral job. Burnham says he still loves everything about his job, and he will support the Labour Party in whatever way I can. This is live, isn't it? 54 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago. Burnham condemns Reform UK's plans to end indefinite leave to remain. Asked about it, do they really think it's fair enough to deny rights to people who have been here a long time, who were settled here, who have paid taxes for many, many years? I think that's starting to take Britain to a different place. Let's, to be honest, to a place we've never seen before. He says the Home Office spending on taxis for asylum seekers, as revealed by BBC, is not acceptable. Asked Burnham about the revelations of BBC investigation this week that the Home Office is spending large sums on taxis for asylum seekers. In one case, the Home Office spent £600 on a 250-mile taxi journey for an asylum seeker visiting a GP where they were previously staying. He said he had not seen the BBC report, but when it was explained to him, he said it was wrong. He said, I don't consider that acceptable because it isn't obvious what's available to everyone else, and I don't understand why that would be done. Why not? Is there, like, I don't know, obviously, this particular story, but my assumption is, like, why did it cost £600 when you could eat? I don't know if, like, I don't know if it's possible to go by public transport, because that would be a hell of a lot cheaper. I mean, me and my partner traveling to, when we traveled to Scotland, cost far less than that. You know, I bought a train ticket in this December to go to Manchester. Like, didn't cost me this much. Like, anything else here? Burnham says disappointing. The proposed new Manchester Liverpool rail line is being delayed. That's not good. He'll support them whenever he can. He's completely committed to his Manchester Mail job. Defends leadership comments to Telegraph, saying he gave an honest answer. When he left Westminster, took a vow not to speak in Cove. Asking questions, gave an honest answer. Reed's called Burnham a regional politician, as he says he has seen off people taking pot shots at him before, says Steve Reed there. Interesting. So that's some of the live feed happening there. Southern Rail. Says Peter M. For all the animals in chat, Alston Keir with £2 super chat. Yes, all the different animals in chat. And by the way, guys, if you are a YouTube member, you get to use some of the custom emojis, which Alistair and Stephen Banker are using as well. Feel free to use them in the chat as well. And hello to those who I haven't said. If I haven't said hello to you, hope you are doing well. What else is there? Ed Miliband looking into more North Sea drilling despite Labour's pledge. What? This is an exclusive from the Energy Secretary examining ways to allow oil and gas exploration without breaking manifesto promise. I am going to have to send this to somebody. One moment, guys. 1 second. Sorry, I do need to do this. This is quite... he's going to have a tantrum when he hears this. Yeah, he's not going to be a happy bunny when he hears about that. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't like this. I hope this is not true. Because while we... First and foremost, obviously, this is... we're talking about the Scottish oil and gas here. That, by the way, doesn't even go into our markets. It doesn't even go towards reducing our bills. This just goes straight on to the global markets. And this is my biggest gripe that I have with oil and gas exploration. This is more about just raising money for these companies rather than raising money for our economy. It does nothing for us. It literally does nothing for us. There is no benefit whatsoever to be doing this. There is none. Like, honestly, tell me what the benefit is when you pump oil and gas out of these places and then you just put it onto the global market. Doesn't go anywhere near the UK economy. Doesn't benefit us in any way, shape or form. So it says Ed Miliband is planning to encourage drilling in the North Sea, despite a manifesto promise not to grant new licenses on new parts of British seabed. The Energy Secretary is looking at ways in which the government can allow companies to look for and produce more oil and gas without breaking Labour's pre-election pledge not to issue new licenses on new fields. The plans, which will be announced in the coming months as part of a wider strategy for the North Sea, come amid pressure on one side from climate activists to stop all drilling, and on the other from Donald Trump to bill JB Bill. A government spokesperson said the strategy will set out how the government intends to meet its manifesto commitments to ensure no new licenses to explore new fields and maintain existing fields in their lifetime. They said the government would meet its manifesto commitments in full. Miliband has been working on proposals for North Sea for months as the government looks for ways to maximise the lives of existing oil and gas fields without allowing completely new explorations. Labour has promised in its manifesto not to grant new licenses on the field, and ministers are now looking at how they can implement that while also gaining an economic return from the sizable industry which already exists. Oil and gas companies employ about 30,000 people from their base in northeast Scotland. Officials are understood to have looked at a range of proposals in recent weeks, including one that would incentivise companies to explore and drill in parts of the North Sea and other companies that are previously abandoned. The plans were initially proposed in a paper published in August by Professor John Underhill, an expert in the energy transition at Aberdeen University. Underhill called on the government to issue bespoke oil and gas licenses to companies to explore and produce hydrocarbon in places that have previously been deemed unprofitable. The plan would involve incentivising companies that own infrastructure, such as gas pipes, to return oil fields in the hope of extracting more fuel. This could be marred with a range of measures that can help the industry less carbon intensive, including banning the routine burning of excessive gas known as flaring. Underhill has met officials from the Energy Department in recent weeks to discuss the proposals, which he said could be delivered without granting new licenses on previous unexplored fields. So this sounds like to me this screams loophole. Them saying, oh, well, we said we weren't going to grant licenses. That's what it said in our manifesto commitments, right? It didn't say we weren't going to stop drilling. We just said we were going to stop licensing for it. Is that the new loophole that Labour are going to propose when they get asked questions on this? Is that what it's going to be? Everyone calling this ridiculous, negligible. Yep, US president's applying pressure on this. Is this Donald Trump basically saying you guys need to drill, baby, drill? Yeah. Not good, guys. Bank of England urged to do more to tackle the climate crisis. Starmer gambles on levelling up style initiative to tackle reform threat. What exactly is he doing? Deprived communities to be given tens of millions of pounds to patch up derelict shops, pubs and libraries to restore pride. What? Okay, let's put my money aside here. What is this? So he's got Prime Minister will launch a regeneration initiative today, gambling an updated version of levelling up that will address anger about Britain's broken communities. He will say the money will help get rid of boarded up shops, shuttered youth clubs, and crumbling parks that have become the symbol of a system that has stopped listening. More than 300 areas across the country will be given the cash to patch up derelict shops, pubs and libraries, as well as new powers to decide which businesses can set up on their high streets. The fund forms a central plank of Labour's policy response to the rise of reform in which the Prime Minister believes he's thriving in part of voters' discontent over the poor state of local communities. It also formed palms of Starmer's own fight back against external against Greater Manchester. A lot of talk. I know people are proud of our area. They boarded up. That's why we're handing down promises from Westminster. People have the answers to the problems of their communities and now showing the tools to fix it. People will restore pride in where they live in and so forth. This it sounds good on paper, like tens of million pounds going into some of the poorest areas. But if I see it turn into action, then okay. But if we're talking about some of the poorest and most deprived areas, but you've got to target areas. You can't just pick Labour areas, as a means to say, look, you don't need to vote reform. We're making things better for you. And it's all about Birdham there. I mean, I generally welcome this. I really do. This, but whether it actually happens, I'm skeptical. You know, because we heard this a lot. We heard the term leveling up all the time from the bloody Conservatives, guys, and it was just a word salad. And the question is this word salad from Labour? Most people in the chat will probably say yes. I hope is that it's not word salad and it actually does make a difference. I generally mean that. Farage steps up call for the Bank of England to halt bond sales. Reform leader presses Governor Andrew Bailey over quantitative easing meeting at Neal Street. Co-op says malicious cyber attack has hit profits by £80 million. Jesus, 80 million! Ticketmaster fought to change how it advertises tickets after a racist row. Ticketmaster are the bane of existence. They should not control every single arena, every single... Like, I hate that they have so much control over events. I really hate it. I hate that they have so much control. There should be more markets doing this. Ticketmaster have far too much control. Biometric checks to visit EU could take 9 months to fully enforce. Yeah, from next month it's going to be coming through. I believe it's next month, yeah. Biometric registration to visit EU may not be fully enforced for another 9 months, with border officials having to relax the rules to alleviate queues and chaos at ports after the system finally goes live. In just over 2 weeks, Eurotunnel, Eurostar and the Port of Dover will all open biometric registration kiosks in the UK. 2 weeks. Installed at the cost of tens of millions of pounds, but the system will now take effect on the 12th of October for only a minority of travellers. 1 second. Ooh, from the 12th of October, did it say? Ooh, actually, so I could dodge it. Okay. Ah, so we can actually dodge it. Okay. But the system will now take effect. According to Eurostar, there will be an additional 90-day grace period during which the entry-exit system could be scaled back under the direction of French border authorities in case of operational failures. Much delayed new system will require all non-EU citizens to be fingerprinted and photographed before entering the EU. Yeah, I want to avoid this. It looks like, yeah, I might be able to. Just looking at my dates and schedules. Biometrics are collected at the border. Yeah, passengers flying to the EU have new checks on landing at EU airports. Potential for large queues and delays. Yeah, this is the thing. You do not want to be doing this as soon as the system is up, guys. You want to be doing this, like, if you're planning, if I generally mean this, if you are planning to travel to the EU in from mid-October onwards, my condolences, because you are going to be going through all this crap. And you're going to be waiting a lot longer. Like, if you're in about 6 months' time, like, if you're going on a plane or going on holiday, like, next year, like, spring, summer, it won't be as bad. But if you're planning to still go on holiday during the Christmas period, you're planning to go into the EU, yeah, you're going to be going through all this crap, guys. And it'll be a lot worse once they put it in. So, yeah, it's not ideal, guys. Not ideal. High street shops will be revamped into a gentrified area full of coffee shops and art galleries, while everyone drives into the big supermarkets are forced to wait for buses as local shops close. Yeah, they're not doing anything for local businesses. They are not doing anything for local businesses. Local businesses continue to suffer and die. Businesses that have been around for 30, 40, 50, hundreds of years, over 100 years, some of them, have gone. Because of they've not recovered from the pandemic, and they've not done enough for small businesses. Protecting local communities. Time to apply for an Irish passport. I've been saying that to myself 100 times. There's some barriers for me getting my hands on an Irish passport because my grandparents were Irish, unfortunately. So it's not as simple as I wanted it to be. The van bribe will be digital, so he saves paper on the brown envelope. How is public money going to renovate shops? The place I had in my first job in Town is up for rent. I'd love to take it back and what it was, open a board game shop, but the rent is ridiculous, says Martin. It's a good. I hate seeing boarded up shops, but what I don't like seeing is a charity shop replace them, because that's what most of the shops get replaced by, is by charity shops. We have about 4 or 5 charity shops down the road in my local town, literally down the road from me. There's like 4 or 5 charity shops, and don't get me wrong, they got some good stuff in them, but I kind of would like something else besides charity shops, you know. I mean, we got our fair share of barbers and all that kind of stuff, but yeah. As for the biometric checks, again, like I said, it's going to happen because that's what the EU wants. Low birth rates in England could lead to the closure of 800 primary schools by 2029. Wow. Primary school numbers could fall by 4% over the next 5 years, leading to a reduction of 162,000 pupil study fines. Declining numbers of children across England could lead to the equivalent of 800 primary schools falling empty or being closed by the end of the decade. The national decline in pupils at state primary schools is mainly driven by low birth rates, but is marginalised in London by increasing numbers of people moving out of the capital or leaving the state system to move abroad or send their children to private school, according to the Education Policy Institute. That's because the state system in England is shit. There's not enough investment in it. The teachers are struggling. They're overstressed. People aren't having babies, not because they don't want babies, but they can't afford it because of the cost of living crisis. That's the main reason why we were not turning the birth rate around. So we're having to rely on migrants to help bring up the numbers. I wonder if they factored in. Yeah, obviously, I wonder if they factor in migration, people migrating to the UK as well into these numbers. The projections comes as many councils struggle to keep primary schools open in the face of falling numbers, with school fundings linked to pupil numbers. Further falls will heighten the wave of mergers and closures that have already affected parts of England. Schools with failing pupil numbers face increasing financial pressures, which can ultimately threaten their long-term visibility. This issue emerged first in London, where enrolment declines began earlier than in the rest of the country. National birth rates peaked in 2010 and led to larger year groups starting at primary school between 2014 and 2018, with councils hurdled at opening new schools and expanding provisions to meet demands. But since then, national birth rate has slowed dramatically. National primary pupil numbers peaked in 2018-2019, about 4.5 million. Since then, it's fallen by nearly 2%. Over the next 5 years, it's forecast to fall a further 4%. By 2029, forecasts suggest that only 4.24 million primary school pupils will be enrolled, a reduction of 162,000 that would be equivalent of 800 single-form primary schools closing over that period. London will be the hardest hit. Yep, because it's far too expensive to take your jet. It's so goddamn expensive to do it in London. It's absolutely, where and if they close up more schools, it's not good, guys. Not good at all. Front of UK, what they got here, we've seen all them. We'll go to the front page of the Guardian, see what they got here. Former French president found guilty, but acquitted of some charges in criminal case linked to the Gaddafi regime. Nicolas Sarkozy. You guys remember him? He's been found guilty. Found guilty of criminal conspiracy in Libya trial. Professional attacker behind attacks that closed Danish airport, defense minister said there. Deadly ice shooting comes as violence spikes amid Trump's immigration crackdown. Instagram still poses risks to children despite new safety measure tools, says a Meta whistleblower. No shit. That does not surprise me one bit, guys. Sadly, but that does not. Got about 17 minutes to go before we wrap up here, guys. Just a reminder that myself and One Angry Pagan will be going live tonight at 8 o'clock for the EcoFlake show. We'll be looking at lots of climate, environment, green news, all that kind of stuff, guys. It's what our specific live stream is about. We do it once a month, so if you can join us for that, please feel free to do so. We always welcome new faces to that. The Telegraph, or the Toy Graph, or the Reform Graph, or the Bullshit Graph, whichever reference you'd like to call them here. Give a speed camera dash to catch more drivers, police chief tells Reeves. Boss demands Reeves launch income tax raid. Family of three are one in, one out migrants to arrive in Britain. Russian plots dared NATO to start a war for a friendly wave. Ice shooter named as 29-year-old with drug dealing record. Eating 3 yogurts this day is key to living to 100. Is it? Is it? You know what? I have not had a yogurt for a long, long time. And I don't know why, guys. I should have yogurts again. I used to have them when I was a kid, and for some reason I just stopped. Don't know. Trump told Arab leaders he would block the annexation of the West Bank. He says that. Okay, he says that. Is he going to do that? I don't buy that. Trump wants escalator sabotage investigated after the awkward UN visit. Yeah. Donald Trump's demanding an investigation into why the escalator stopped it at the UN when he got on it. Jimmy Kimmel's return draws the biggest audience in a decade. Yeah, it was like the numbers went insane on YouTube for it. Spain and Italy sent warships to protect Greta's Gaza flotilla. Very interesting to see how they do there. Joe Biden's White House portrait replaced with photo of auto pen. 1 in 20 pubs at risk of closing after Labour's tax raids. Woman deported from Monaco after Ryanair refuses to let her retrieve a passport. What? Wouldn't let her retrieve the passport? Asylum seeker sentencing postponed after he left court for fish and chips. I'm going to take a big, giant jar of salt on that one, guys. Great jar of salt on that one there. That is the Telegraph there. Let's have a look and see what the iPaper are saying for us here. Trump having a meltdown over the escalator is peak hilarity. Yeah, I know. He's making a big deal out of it, you know. Like, the thing is, it's like, I don't know the full story, but here's my 2 cents, guys. I generally believe someone turned off the escalator. And they're just trying to find out who was responsible for it. Like, they timed it as soon as he got on. Like, I generally believe someone did that. And the thing is, they just haven't figured it out who it is. Like, someone in a control room pressed a button and it stopped it. I generally believe that. The iPaper, 3 welfare reforms that could happen and 2 that won't. From PIP to child benefits to winter allowance, the iPaper analyses what Labour might change and what is too politically unpalatable to touch. I have the Huntington disease genes. New therapy will give me my future back. Labour to block fake high street barbers in a battle against reform. Obama hits out at Trump's autism claims as violence against the truth. That's nice. It's nice that Obama's come out and said called it out. More people need to do that. First time buyers waiting for a crash. Now they're flooding the housing market. £20 a year if you want to be a subscriber to the iPaper. Nah, I'm good, thanks. I have ways of getting around there. I have ways of getting around it as well. Free welfare reforms that can happen. What else they've got here? Exclusive saying there isn't enough money. Why ministers saying reforms are heading for failure. The NHS needs you, Streeting's volunteer army, to play board games with patients. Yeah, I heard about this. So they want volunteers here. Tens of thousands of people are being encouraged to sign up as NHS volunteers under a dedicated new website which can match individuals and roles in hospitals, care homes and local communities across the health service in England. There are currently 77,000 NHS volunteers who can help things like chatting to patients while they wait for surgery, collecting medication for pharmacies and playing board games with care home residents. But until now, the way they have been recruiting is fragmented across NHS Trust. From Wednesday, there would be volunteers are encouraged to sign up using a single centralised website where they can find opportunities in their local area. While some of the NHS volunteers do things like supporting ambulances crews with first aid, they do not replace existing NHS roles, and the volunteer army allows more time for trained staff to focus on their clinical work. However, the appeal for volunteers comes at a time when the NHS continues to face intense pressures on staff and resources, with the latest figures showing waiting lists are up for the second month running and ongoing recruitment issues for clinical roles. There are around 300 district volunteer roles across the health service in England, and the government says that their work boasts the experience of patients while developing new skills, connected with local communities and making new friends. Tasks involve spending time with patients, chatting and playing board games, or helping with a meal or tea rounds alongside general admin roles like collecting medication from the pharmacy for patients waiting to leave hospital. There are also opportunities in the community and some volunteers help people to stay well in their homes by providing support with shopping or companionship calls, driving patients to their appointments and delivering important medication. If I was able to drive, maybe, but I don't think it's not something that I would give enough time for personally. I don't feel. He said the NHS volunteering website will encourage more people to sign up as volunteers and marks a part of the shift from hospital to community and from treatment to prevention, which is led by the Health Secretary Wes Streeting. Like, the thing is that it's okay if you've got nothing on your hands and if you're at a certain age and you've got nothing on your hands and you want to do a bit of volunteer work, then yeah, go for it. But me personally, like I would do kind of this kind of stuff, but I would want to get some kind of pay Some get some kind of pay for doing this kind of thing. Me personally, but that's just me, guys. You know, I do enough of work, sometimes work for nothing. You know, there's a lot of work that I do and I don't get any income for it. So, but if you're somebody who wants to do that, well, by all means, go for it, guys. NHS volunteering experience offers experience for all ages, including young people who might be considering a career in the health service, as well as retirees looking to give back to the community. So they say even young people there as well, if they want to get people on board. UK is ready to shoot down Russian jets as Trump emboldens Europe. UK students get chance to study in Europe from January 2027 under new espionage deal. The EU is pushing for a rapid agreement for Britain to rejoin the student exchange scheme. The EU is pushing for a rapid deal for the UK to rejoin the Erasmus programme, allow students exchange between the two sides from January 2027, the iPaper has learned. A European Commission official has said that negotiations are at a critical juncture and a deal is needed by the end of October if the UK is to join the scheme in a little over a year. An EU source, meanwhile, said there was a desire to get membership agreed in that time for next year's Brexit reset summit, after the two sides agreed to explore Erasmus and association at this year's summit in May. The iPaper, however, understands that the UK believe they are still in talks in their early stages, with EU Relations Minister Nick Thomas-Symonds exploring options. If an agreement cannot be reached soon, the UK could still begin participating in Erasmus and at a later date than January 2027, with the government more focused on ensuring any deal would work for both students and financially, given that the programme has been criticised for costing Britain's money in the past. Well, let's just. It's not really much of an exclusive. It's just basically saying there's still talks there, but it's nothing really there. Graham Price, good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. I need to see if you're interested. I've got a roundtable next month. If you're interested, my friend, let me know. I'll send you the dates if you're interested in coming on for a roundtable again. Would love to have you back on, my friend. And do subscribe to his YouTube channel if you haven't already, guys. Graham does some wonderful content. Really, really good stuff. Is there anything else here that we haven't already seen? Labour to block fake high street barbers. So what exactly are they planning to do then? New laws giving the councils the powers to block fake barbers and vape shops opening on the high street. Hold on. Let me just make a note. Put that on my list of things to do. New laws giving councils the powers to block fake barbers and vape shops opening on the high streets will be fast-tracked in a bid to see off threats from Nigel Farage's reform. Keir Starmer also unveiled new plans on Thursday to give councils greater powers to seize up border shops and regenerate derelict sites, as well as giving communities a greater say on what kind of shops are open on their high streets. Communities will be given new rights to save local pubs and libraries under the new right to buy schemes. Plans are in part the latest attempts by the government to counter Reform's UK's efforts to use the demise of local high streets as part of a campaign tool. The right-wing party has highlighted the rise in the fake barbershops in high streets across the UK as a sign of organised crime gangs getting footholds in communities. Deputy Leader Richard Tice last year accused cash-only barbershops of being front of money laundering. Councils are set to be handed new powers to assess the impact of new gambling, vapes and barbershops opening on the high streets and block them if they believe will blight the high street. Ready to run Lubbock Council with Nigel Farage fries on dividing communities because he knows only emotion. Yeah, they really target Turkish barbershops more than anything. They're more there. Bing podcast at 5. Yeah, Yankee Doodles. Yep, Bing podcast is at 5 o'clock today. Okay, thanks for sharing that. I don't always know what time they're live because it sometimes differentiates their live streams. That's why I don't have it scheduled on the Discord. Just for reference there. Have we only got 6 minutes? I've still got quite a few to go through. Wow, I've not gone fast enough, guys. I've been quite slow. Let's go to Sky News. We've got about... Let's try and drive through this as much as we possibly can. Front of UK here on Sky News. Burdham told to pipe down by Labour peers as Mayor MPs want him to oust Starmer. GMB Union backs Bridget Phillipson for Deputy Labour leader there. I just saw 12 minutes ago. Yep, this just happened while we've been live. So they're giving that they're backing her for the deputy role. Oasis fans paid £150 extra for platinum tickets with no added benefits. Investigation into Ticketmaster fine. You got screwed. This is why I hate Ticketmaster. Vaccine giant opens a new UK factory with apparent jab at the US. Good. I like this. UK boasts pandemic readiness with a new vaccine factory. Moldova's chief executive has hailed the UK as a country that still believes in vaccination, perhaps a dig at the country's homeland, where Donald Trump's administration is taking a more sceptical approach. A US vaccine firm has opened a new mRNA manufacturing plant in the UK against the backdrop of increasing anti-jab rhetoric back home. I mean, I personally wish it wasn't a US one, but you know, I'm all for more vaccines so very happy about that. Big issue founder warns UK is too focused on the great distraction. That is true. Counterfeit toys, we talked about that earlier. Star Wars Barbershops, talked about that earlier as well. Let's have a quick look in politics, see if there's anything we haven't seen already. PM's talented aide will stay in post despite donation row, says senior minister. I've been told to challenge Starmer, says Andy Burdham. And a bunch of analysis piece there. That's all from Sky News that I can see here, guys. Let's run to the BBC, see what they're saying here, because we've got about 4 minutes. Labour MPs are privately urging me to challenge the PM. Henry Zefferman Burnham's provocative challenge into Starmer shows that he is serious. Government could buy car parts to protect Labour Jaguar Land Rover supplies. AI tool helped recover 500 million lost to fraud, the government says. Corbyn sorry for confusion as new party membership launched. Don't know the video on that. Urgent review ordered into asylum seeker taxi costs as well. Get behind our wealth tax, millionaires urge Liberal Democrats. They can't because of they're not going to get behind a wealth tax, I don't feel. Punchy Lib Dems use reform as a call to action. Phillipson says, I've been the victim of sexist briefings, he claims. Tories call for an inquiry into Labour's Together support for Starmer. I'm calling for an inquiry into the Tories and still not apologising after 14 years of hell under them. We should look into an inquiry of why they can't say the word sorry. Answers on a postcard, please. Film me all you want. Teenage girls with no fear of police torment one high street. Teenagers have been targeting shops in Shirley, Hampshire. Antisocial behaviour, leaving the owners feeling helpless. Very heartbreaking to hear stories like that. You know, people, you know, they're not afraid anymore. There's a lot of people out there who are not afraid to steal and whatnot. And if they're on camera, it's like, who cares? Nothing's going to come of it. Drug prices need to keep pharmaceutical investment in the UK, says a minister. BBC and news agencies launch a film calling on the Israelis to allow foreign journalists into Gaza, which they won't do. Any other interesting stories here? Not really. Timber worth 5 million stuck on roadless remote forest. Oh, God. Bloody reflux, excuse me. Pathetic fines won't stop water pollution, said campaigners. Yeah, it's true. Not gonna stop things there. Just got about a minute left, so we'll have a quick look at Byline Times before we head out. If I can click on the link, there we go. Some of the stories they've got here. They've got Talk TV presenter accused of assault after dragging climate protester from UK Trump dinner. Oh, really? Ah, this clown. You guys have heard of this clown, haven't ya? Andre Walker's incident facing police probe over allegations he attempted to punch and kick a protester at a Republican overseas event during Trump's UK visit. This guy is a YouTuber, and because he's obviously young, he got the attention of the right wing. And that's why he ended up being on Talk GB News for quite a lot. Oh, there you go. Talk TV, sorry. And now this guy's been accused of assault. Well, aren't you a very tough boy, aren't you? Putting your hands on other people. I hope he faces real trouble for that. I really hope so, guys. Left-wing activist threatens to sideline Corbyn and Sultana over your party leadership chaos. Chris Yervin, how the alt-right gets in. Farage's £1 trillion black hole. Some of these stories are old here. And, yep, some of these stories we've already seen. But, yeah. Really hope that guy gets what he deserves. He's a terrible, nasty, nasty individual is what I will say. Not as nasty as some right-wing influencers, shall we say, in America, but he certainly is definitely nasty to a certain extent there. Old clown. Oh my god, a clown, all right. Yep, he's a clown indeed. Looks like an overinflated fart, says person impersonator indeed. So guys, just a quick reminder, tonight at 8 o'clock, myself and One Angry Pagan with the EcoFlake show. If you guys can join us for that, please feel free to do so. Here, do check out Power to the People with Graham Price there as well. I'm sure someone put a link in his description. Check out his YouTube channel as well. Of course, do check out the two Davies as well and the work that they do as well. Thank you guys all for coming along today. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Aston Kier, for your very generous gifted memberships and super chats today. Very, very generous of you. And plenty of content will be dropping over the next few days for you guys. But I'm done here for now. But if you can, on your way out, for me, hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do consider subscribing. There's lots and lots of content down on the homepage. You can check out lots and lots of content on the homepage. You can also check out Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms as well. And if you want to finally support me, you can join the YouTube membership for as little as 99p. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.